opening the meeting, but now we will go, I'll seek a vote to go into the public hearings that have been requested by National Grid for pole placements in various areas of the community. Could I have a motion, please?
I move to enter into public hearing for National Grid, poll petition.
We have a second?
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion made and seconded to go into our hearing for pole placements by National Grid's petitions on South Barre Road, Williamsville Road, and Jackson Lane. I do see that we have National Grid folks here
Yes.
to discuss the locations and so forth. We do
Well,
have,
There's three different work requests, three different
Right,
jobs.
right.
So which one do you want to take over
why don't,
first?
I have on mine South Barre Road,
Okay.
which is up there by the substation.
Yes, well, what this job is for, we're asking for underground petition, for our underground conduits, manholes, and wires. We're updating the substation, so they're
Yes.
gonna have, instead of 4 lines, 5 major lines. And because of that, they're upgrading a lot of wires, because we're gonna have double conductors. For Main Street, they replace the poles, upgrade wires up to the substation, and then underground conduits for 4 separate poles and risers.
Yeah,
So that way, because there's gonna be now 4 major lines coming up from the substation, we needed to put them on different poles, so we didn't have, 4 poles together, and then a car accident, and the whole town goes up. So we spread them out, and in order to do that, you needed to have underground conduits and manholes installed in underground wires, and they'll come up on the risers, and then they'll proceed up.
so will you be breaching the macadam on the street?
We'll be digging into it and putting
You will.
manholes, if the manholes are
You know that
enough so
our
someone
DPW people are gonna be saying, make sure you do it right. It's a relatively brand-new road for us up there.
Yes, for major like this or doing underground like this.
Yeah.
In a road, we'll be in contact with the DPW on a daily basis, and I'm sure, or very much a weekly basis, of how to do that, and with the police to have
Right.
details for both.
Right, okay. Questions?
I have no questions. I actually attended the informational meeting a couple weeks ago, so I got a lot of information there and understand the project as presented.
Mark,
I don't have any,
questions?
no.
Do we have any citizens here who were here for that specific, shall we say, public hearing portion that is relative to South Barre Road? Seeing none, hearing nothing. I think we're all set. We'd like to approve that request. Make a motion
Yeah, I'd move to approve the request from National Grid for the South Barre Road.
for the petition
For
plan
the petition.
number 311-75727.
Is that what you're gonna, okay.
Have a motion?
Second?
Have a motion made and seconded to approve the petition plan as presented by National Grid
Is that
of
the
number
updated number?
311-75727,
That's the
Barre
right one.
petition.
Okay, all right.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It looks like that, we can move along to the second petition that was
That's
requested,
it, yeah.
and that is the National Grid poll petition for Williamsville Road.
Yes, this one, we're petitioning to install a new pole 83-2 across the street from 83 to serve a house, because the line is actually right on the trees right now.
Oh.
So we're gonna put a pole on the other, the east side of the road, and then to serve 1,136 Williamsville Road.
Do we have any petitioners here for, or should I say, people wanting to talk to the petitioners about the Williamsville Road at area 1136? Williamsville Road, yes, ma'am.
I'm a homeowner. I've been trying to, for just over 10 years, get the wires off of the tree. Every winter, every storm, I'm waiting for it to just rip the wires right off the house. So this is something that I'm very much in favor of.
Okay. So we have a person who's here and in favor of your work.
Yes.
Do we have anybody else commenting on the Williamsville Road petition as presented? Could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion that we approve the Williamsville Road pole installation as presented.
A second.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the Williamsville poll petition as presented for 1136 Williamsville Road. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Looks like a vote. Moving along to the final poll petition for the evening, and that is the poll petition for Jackson Lane, which I believe is an extension of sorts.
Oh, well, this is to serve a new house, 40 Jackson Lane. Sorry.
Mr. Caruso, I believe you're probably here just to answer questions if we had any. I know you're the builder for the dwelling that will be serviced, correct?
Yes. Yeah, so in order to serve that house, we had to install a new pole.
Okay.
So instead of, we're gonna put the pole midway, basically between poles 3 and 4. And then pole 3-50, that would be able to serve the house. There's no way would be way too long to serve the house from any existing pole. So we had to put like a mid-span pole, and then additionally, we'll put one on the customer property to get to the house.
Okay.
But that's private property. We're just doing for pole 3-50.
Okay. And you have a time frame for that work?
Last week.
Yeah, we've already did work and replaced poles to serve 30 and 14, so I'll enter this into the computer tomorrow morning, and they'll try to get it scheduled as soon as possible.
Is there anyone here representing Jackson Lane poll petition that would like to speak on the matter? Hearing and seeing none, may I have a motion?
Yeah, I'd move to approve the poll petition for 40 Jackson Lane on a new construction home.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the Jackson Lane poll petition from National Grid to install one JO pole on Jackson Lane beginning at a point approximately 525 feet southwest of the central line of the intersection of West Street and Jackson Lane. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, we'll take a vote. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. And I'm glad the wires are coming off the tree or wherever they are.
Yeah, yeah.
Keep it safer out there.
Okay, may I have a motion to exit the public hearings on poll petitions, please?
I make a motion that we exit the National Grid poll petitions for Southbury Road, Williamsville Road, and Jackson Lane.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to exit the poll petition hearings on the areas of Southbury Road, Williamsville Road, and Jackson Lane.
Yeah.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are now ready to move to the regular scheduled meeting. And we would start with, I think we have public comment up to 15 minutes, we hope. People will be careful with the amount of time they use since we have a big, busy agenda ahead. Do we have anyone looking to make a comment in public comment? Seeing none, I will move along to the meeting and move on to begin to the approval of meeting minutes. That would be to look at the meeting minutes for Tuesday, January 20th. I seek a motion.
Move to approve the meeting minutes of January 20th, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from January 20th, 2026, and that would be for public release. Do we have anyone who has questions or concerns or any changes that they've noted?
I do not.
No.
Hearing and seeing none, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, reports, town administrator update.
I'm going to do the best I can without coughing my way through it. I apologize. It was very short and sweet as I was off last week, and then I went to the MMA Connect 351 convention from the 22nd to the 24th, which was very good, informative, met some great people, made some good contacts as always. We had one public records request for vendor payment records from January 1st to present. The accountant sent that out on January 28th, so that has been satisfied. At a regional dispatch meeting via Zoom, rural development grant Zoom, and a Zoom meeting with CBiz to set up for the FY25 closure expectations and needs. We have two Acts for Barre, answering concerns through transparency. The first one, apparently it's going around on social media regarding the DPW superintendent's overtime. I want to let people know that, as I understand it, the previous DPW superintendent had an MOU to earn comp time instead of overtime. It's also my understanding that due to the previous superintendent's lack of official reporting and record keeping of that comp time, the Office of the Inspector General ordered the town to eliminate that option. The current DPW superintendent then had to forfeit 400 hours of comp time that he had earned due to that directive. The DPW Commission and the Selectboard both voted on and signed an MOU to pay the DPW superintendent overtime for snow and ice removal and/or water sewer emergencies when he is needed. There's not a full complement of staff at the DPW, and we have been inundated with both snow and water events requiring his labor in this field. So if anybody has any other further questions, feel free to email, call, come see me. Apparently, there's also been conversation going around town that a certain individual must be voted in as a water commissioner, or the town will take the water enterprise funds away from the water enterprise. It's not possible to do that. So the DOR guidance on this is IGR number 2226 dated December 22nd. And it just outlines the guidance for Mass General Law, Chapter 44, Section 53F and a half. Enterprise, it outlines the use of the enterprise funds and the accounting laws pertaining to those funds. Acceptable reasons for enterprise funds going to the general fund are for reimbursements of personnel and benefits, debt service payments, retirement assessments, Medicare and unemployment contributions, liability insurance, et cetera, and all of these must be listed in detail and documented as transferred amounts in the accounting system. The town cannot simply take money from an enterprise fund. So if anybody wants more information, I am more than happy to forward them this IGR. But that's all I got.
Thank you very much, Melanie, appreciate your help with that.
Comment? Dr. Mike,
Pardon me?
comment?
I'm sorry?
Can I make a comment?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what our town administrator just said, that the current superintendent's working under what the DPW board voted and authorized him to be paid overtime because we're down 2 personnel. So he's had to work more extra hours to cover up the 2 lacking full-time positions that we should have down there. And in light of what the Inspector General said, that we can't give comp time, we had to do something to make it fair until we can get those 2 positions rehired. And they're currently advertised, and we're not getting applicants, or not getting qualified applicants to meet the qualifications put forth for the jobs, but we're trying to fill those seats. And once those seats are filled, then the superintendent will go back to his salary, and there won't be no additional extra overtime
Unless needed.
unless needed. So we've done what the Inspector General's asked us to do, and under
Well,
the
I
guidance
think,
of town council.
I don't think it's fair to say asked us to do. They demanded that we do.
Okay, I'll be a little kind to me.
It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't that they said, it would be nice if you did. No, it was very clearly stated that we would no longer offer comp time within our community due to the fact that we've had some very difficult times in the past.
And lastly, like, we're short-handed, and these guys and gals, our administrative assistant down there, are working extremely hard. I witnessed it on the last storm. I'm very proud. I was out there with them for 20 hours, donating my time. And I saw it firsthand. They're working very hard for us. People need to be patient. We're not gonna get to everything. We're down two full-time people. We will get to it. But it's not gonna be immediate.
I think it's important we add to that, Rich, the 400 some odd hours that our DPW superintendent forfeited. It's a hefty amount of money, and I think it's important to recognize that what he's given to the town so far in 1 year, just because of that, you know.
Well, I certainly agree that we recognize the people who work very hard, and it's been a very, very difficult snow and ice year so far. It is always snowing, and it's always icing on the weekend for holidays. I don't think we've had a holiday that we haven't had our people out on, or a weekend that people aren't out, managing the roads. And I certainly know that there are many of you who appreciate the roads that have been, you know, I kept in a very safe manner. And I mean, the big snow that we just had was struggling. We struggled on some of those back roads, there's no question about it. And had some sanders down for three of our sanders down, like the day we absolutely needed the sanders. So, you know, we had some issues, and our mechanic is doing a super job as well.
Yes.
And so it's never easy, but I would just indicate that we do spend a lot of time managing that particular agency due to the problems we've had in the past. And so I commend the individuals, as you do, for the work that they've been doing, and under a lot of very tough scrutiny from us in the Inspector General's office. So, moving along, select board comments other than the ones Richard had. Mark, you have anything? I do have at least one thing. On January 29th, we were invited, as all the individuals were, I think you were Zooming, at the Quabbin Regional School District, where they had their first kind of, let's look at how the budget is going to work out for the next fiscal year. We all had numbers from the governor's budget. That means probably nothing to all of you. You think, well, it's just the governor's budget, and it really is just the governor's budget, because publicly and politically, there's two other groups, the House and the Senate, that will work on those numbers, and whatever her budget was may be unrecognizable, or it may be very much, you know, what she has recommended. There's some school, I think there were some things that were good for schools, not much good for the towns. I mean, there wasn't like additional local aid or any kind of big move on that. Would you agree? I mean,
Yes.
we're not too thrilled about that. But at any rate, there was some move on rural schools with an increase to $20 million for what they call rural, schools. Quabbin Regional School District, the one that services us, is a rural school and would get additional revenues from that. The governor did decrease the amount of minimum student aid, which was $150 per student last year, went back to $75 a student, which of course was nothing that we were too happy about. Regional transportation, we are a regional school district, and thus we received reimbursement for children who are transported by bus. And unfortunately, that number is looking at not 100% reimbursement, which is what is claimed we should get, to 87%. So I would say there's not a lot of good news from that budget that we've seen from the governor, but we wait to see what will happen in the House and what will happen in the Senate, and we'll come to town meeting with much more information in May, and hope for the best. Okay, anything else? Anyone have any questions on anything we've brought up? Okay, moving right along then. New business, community resilience, a proposal for native pollinator gardens in Barre, common, and public spaces, a discussion. I would just say I see Mr. Perkins here, which is a good thing, because he's a member of the Common Committee. And obviously, I would be recommending that we push this right over to the Commons Committee for their, more careful consideration. But is anyone here tonight for that, to discuss that proposal? Okay, oh, look at that, all right. I would invite you to come forward, identify yourselves, and Mr. Perkins is the gentleman who you'd be seeing if we are successful in having the discussion, as he supervises or works with a group of individuals who help us supervise the commons and what we use them for. So, ladies, I admit, this is a first for me, talking about pollinator gardens on Barre Commons. You can stand or sit or whatever you'd like. It's important, if you want the public to hear you, to make sure you're facing some of the microphones, okay?
Yeah.
I'm Donna O'Brien. I'm a member of the Native Plant Group of Community Resilience of Barre. And we are proposing to construct a native plant garden on the South Barre Common.
South Barre, okay.
Right. And
No, South Common.
I'm sorry.
Oh, the south, okay.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
You need the name.
South Common.
South Common.
South Common, okay.
So that would be in front of the Fidelity Bank building down in that area, right?
Right, and
Okay.
and in coordination, we have been talking to Barre Common Oversight Committee.
Oh, okay, you already have met them people, that's great.
Yeah, and so I know that there are plans or proposals for trees and things like that, so we wanted to coordinate with them. We're looking at one particular site at the far end. It would be, we're proposing a 10 by 10 circle or oval. And we're planning on getting started in late February, well, whenever the snow sort of disappears. Late February, March, early March, and clearing the land with a process involving starting out with layers of cardboard, and then leaves, and then mulch, and then wood chips, to try to keep it looking attractive during the whole process. We have a list of native plants that we would plant in there, and they're chosen according to when the bloom time is, what pollinators they'll attract that are local to this area, bees, butterflies, bats, whatever. And so that they are alternating with, there are early bloomers, middle bloomers, summer bloomers, and fall bloomers, and some attractive non-blooming plants that have all year-round leaves that we would have there for the winter. So the native plant group is that we're a new group, and we would be responsible for the planting, for the upkeep of it. We're looking for more volunteers, but we have about 7 of us in this group, and we have talked to other people too. We're looking to involve students and the garden club, other groups in the town that might have a similar interest. And we also would like to give, once the garden is established, we'd like to, during the farmers market day and at different times, give tours and make it an educational project too. We would put labels and identifying labels with a little bit of information around most of the plants. So we would like to get your approval and for a project like this, and we would continue to work with the Barre Common Oversight Committee.
Is it something that would be fenced off?
They
I mean,
would
if
like
it's a small fence or something.
Yeah, a small fence. They would like, the committee would like a fence around it, and I think that's a good idea.
It would be pleasing, pleasant to the eye?
For what?
It would be pleasant to the eye, the fencing?
Yes, that's
Just saying.
would be important, that it be,
It's not gonna be rolled, barbed wire.
no.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Mike Perkins, Common Oversight Committee. Yeah, the only concerns we had were to have a fence around it to delineate the space and also protect it from the lawnmowers, which is pretty crazy. But, yeah, you can get all kinds of decorative
Right.
fences, but it would only be like,
Mhm.
I guess, the side, right?
Yeah.
The other concern was the cardboard, but they assure us that will be covered up by mulch and dirt and stuff, so we wouldn't see it. And since this is the first year project and it's pretty small, I said, go ahead with it.
Mhm.
And if there's any complaints or suggestions, we can work on that later.
So, any further questions?
Mike, he answered the lawnmower issue, because I was concerned about the guys going around it and blowing, the bark mulch or whatever you're gonna put down to the plants, because they go around and around with those things mowing the common, so the fence will certainly help, and directional blowing grass clippings away from it would be preferred, I'm sure, and so we'll try to work with our folks on that, but.
Yeah, we have to work with the DPW to
Yeah.
make sure they
Yeah.
keep an eye on it.
Does the sod get cut and then the cardboard and the buildup of the material, or it gets put on top of the sod?
We're just gonna cover the sod, I think.
Okay.
Right. Part of the purpose is not to disturb the soil underneath.
Because just 10 feet by 10 feet?
Yeah, Diameter of 10 feet.
Yeah,
or-
oh, so maybe a
yeah,
circle.
It
Okay.
could be an oval.
This is sort of an example
Oh,
of how the plants would
okay,
go.
Nice.
nice, okay,
And
Yeah.
they'd be of different colors and types and
great.
whatever, and
Wonderful.
hopefully,
Beautiful.
most of them are available, I have a lot of them, and won't cost the town much to do this, so.
Right, we're counting on donations from our group. We have a lot of native plants, and we're also doing things of cold sowing right now from seeds, and hopefully they'll be ready by between April and June, maybe June, those will be ready in June. And the way that this will look is the first year, with a native plant garden, it takes a while to start looking really beautiful. But, so it will take from the second and third years, it will probably look at its best. The first year, we will have blooming plants there that will be in bloom the first year, and they'll come from our gardens.
Great.
I think it will look okay.
And then for snow removal, is it gonna be back far enough? Because I know we push,
Well,
everything on Common Street goes towards South Common, away from the bank. And then on that corner, so we have a buffer, because we don't wanna I don't know if the snow is gonna hurt it if we bury it, or,
Well, I don't think the snow's gonna hurt it, unless it's really,
Full of salt.
but we have salt,
Salt, yeah.
yeah, salt and chemicals in it, so.
that's one thing we'll have to see.
Yeah, okay.
Because the same thing with the trees, a lot of trees are affected by the salt.
Right.
Yeah, 100%, yep. Great beautification project. So,
Well, are you seeking a vote from the board?
Or what?
Are you seeking a vote from the board?
I don't know, is that something
Well,
we
it's town
need, or
property, I
do you
think
want to
we-
vote?
Yeah, it's town property, as he points out,
Yeah.
so, and if we're gonna have our, Commons Commission or committee sort of oversee this with you, I guess we would say that we would vote to make a motion to authorize the, shall we say, the trial? Is it a trial? Of
Well,
putting-
if it works well and people want more gardens on the common, then it would be like a trial, and
And then we could have the whole common look like that, that'd be great. Yes.
And
Plus more.
it's also, if this happens, and we hope that it will, it's also a beginning for education for anybody in Barre to start doing more native planting in
Mhm.
their yards to support the bee population, and just
Oh.
really good cause for the environment.
Great,
We still have environmental science class?
we do,
There you go.
we do indeed.
Robin, sure.
I am very excited about this, I have
Yeah.
to say.
Really?
I got a native plant,
No students all
native
need time.
plants.
Yeah,
do you want to
Um,
volunteer?
I was just gonna say, when you plan on planting, I obviously have to work all day, every day.
We'll plan it around you.
Yeah, but if it's on the weekends, I'm more than happy to come for a day and help plant or lay cardboard and sticks or whatever.
Oh, that would be great.
Do you have someplace that you post information as to like what you're doing or where
Yes.
people can make donations?
We can put it on the.
We could, or if you want to be part of our email list.
Okay, well, is there
Do
a
that.
place that like the general public, everybody that's listening now or, watching that could go to make a donation or volunteer?
We can do that. We're kind of, this is a new project, so
Okay,
let's
sure.
do
Yeah.
that, that's a good idea.
Yeah, if we could do that, that would be great.
Good, thank you.
We hope to do some things at the farmers markets too, because, people interested in the plants, have babies and stuff that
Yeah.
we can give out.
Yeah.
Or sell, make money for this thing.
Yeah.
I move approval of the native pollinator garden to be placed on south end of Barre Common, and the oversight to be provided by the Barre Commons Committee.
I'll second that.
we have a motion made and seconded to approve the proposal for a native pollinator garden on the Barre Commons in public spaces, and we thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And I look for a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It looks like a unanimous vote. Thank you so much for taking
Thank
the
you.
time to come there. And
Nice project. And the environmental students, they all need time to graduate, so that'd be a good resource at Quabbin.
yeah,
Environmental students?
Environmental
actually-
science class.
yeah.
Oh, great.
Also, they have a senior, the seniors have to do so many public service hours, so there you go.
Graduate.
Great, thank you so much. That's a good idea.
And usually there's a big rush around planting time, right at the end of the school year, just to get the last couple hours in. Okay. Snow and ice deficit spending approval, I think that, Melanie, if you want to walk us through that?
So the accountant had emailed us that we are entering into deficit spending
Not a
for snow and
surprise.
ice. And it looks like as of January 8th, was the last posting in snow and ice, we are at $123,303.11. And we budgeted $128,651. So you guys just need to vote that we can go into deficit spending.
Which is
for snow and
typical.
ice.
Which is typical at every town meeting, in the annual, you hear us talk about.
I want to make it clear to people that you don't want to budget too high because you can never go backwards.
Yeah, right.
What you budget, you can only go forward, you can't go backwards with snow and ice. So this is very typical to do the vote to deficit spend so that you're not over budgeting for your snow and
And
ice.
it's legal with the Department of
Yes.
Revenue even.
Yeah.
Could I have a motion?
Yeah, I would move to approve, or to enter into deficit spending for snow and ice.
I'll second it.
We have a motion made and seconded to go into a deficit spending for the purposes of removing and taking care of roads for snow and ice. Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, collective bargaining, representation, just, okay.
Representative discussion,
Yeah.
was that from Monty Tech? There's nothing.
It may,
No,
it may be, is this for Quabbin where they're seeking a person to sit on the, as required?
That's what I
Is
thought,
Is that what it is? Okay,
I just didn't know how to put it on there.
I can explain, they discussed that a little bit. It's typical in negotiations, they have 3 contracts, I think, open, they said.
Yes.
They have teachers, they have paraprofessionals, they have,
Is it cafeteria workers?
correct, well, anyway, the biggies are the teachers and the paraprofessionals. And what this allows, this is required by statute, that they offer the opportunity for a member of the Board of Selectmen, one within the 5 towns, and that would have to be something that is voted by the boards collaboratively. In other words, there would be some person who would either volunteer or be, sort of chosen to be that representative. Generally, that representative basically shows up at the final vote to listen to the discussion and to make a vote. That person is also eligible to attend meetings where the committee is brought up to date. They will not and do not sit at the table with, back and forth with teachers or paraprofessional groups. So there would be minimally 1 or 2 biggie meetings and then maybe 3 or 4 others where they would go for a half hour to hear how things are going during the process. And so the selectmen and the member towns have to find somebody who's willing to do it, which may sound like, oh, everybody's going to jump on that. Very few people jump on it, and we're usually hoping that someone will say they will do it. Because it's a long process, and I don't expect, they've got 3 contracts open in a tough budget year. It'll be a long haul, I would think. So we just have to bring it up to date and say, we would bring it to the attention of our board to see if there's anyone on our board who would like to serve in that capacity, and if so, we could throw their name into the mix and allow other boards to know that, there's someone on our board who would be interested in doing it, and that's the way. And I know all of you say, we're not letting Marshall near it. I get it, no problem. I'm not volunteering. Not that I couldn't be helpful, but.
But you could.
You would all say she'll give away the ranch to those teachers. But okay, moving on. So I would just say, let Stephanie know if anybody on our board is interested, and then she can send it off to Quabbin, and Quabbin would get all the names, and then she'll.
Huh?
Stephanie or Melanie?
Melanie, I'm sorry.
What? Huh?
No,
Oh.
I know. Well,
Dr. Marshall said Stephanie.
I know, I apologize, Stephanie.
I do that all the time, I call her Stephanie.
I said, but because we just, if there's somebody interested, you just tell Melanie, she will tell the Quabbin Regional School District and say, this person from Barre is interested in sitting and serving.
What's the time frame?
Like yesterday?
Oh, so it's happening now?
Well,
No?
well, it's halfway through the school year, so they'll be really getting serious here.
Okay.
So anybody who wants to sit on that, please let Melanie know, who will let Quabbin know, and then the Quabbin regional school district has to send all the names of interest to all of the towns, and the select boards have to pick somebody. Usually, it's at the very end and somebody is getting their arm twisted. Because it's not a lot of selectmen who have like, oh, let's have some more time and sit through negotiations for the teachers.
Understood.
Okay, that being said, personnel wages, we have a wage authorization for Jared Markowski. I know that there was a change in the paperwork. Sandy, do you?
He's going,
I listed it wrong. I listed it as call. It's
Yeah.
not.
Oh, she's not a call person?
No.
Who's a-
he's going full-time from a
Full-time
call.
Full-time, from call.
Oh, okay, so it's full-time.
Yeah. So I move that we approve Jared Markowski's wage authorization for the full-time position at $26 and, is that a 78
Mm-hmm.
cents per hour
Yeah.
for a 42-hour work week?
I'll second that.
So some of that is overtime at 42 hours?
Not sure. No, he's got that structured, but that's what it says.
Well, it must be, because, obviously,
Yeah.
it's over 40 hours, which is fine. I just wanted to make sure we all understood
Yeah,
42
that's what the
hours.
chief has, so
Yep,
it's whatever.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
we,
'cause it's because of their 24-hour shifts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, we have the wage authorization filed by the fire chief, as in front of you, which is a per diem rate, or I should say, hours is $26.28 an hour. Effective date of this increase is 1/25/26. Proposed hourly salary rate is $26.78, and there's 42 hours a week, and those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And that is an aye from the chair as well. Okay, moving along to, here we go, what people have been waiting for here. Discussion of Regional Senior Center Agreement Renewal. Melanie, do you want to walk us through the
Yes.
basics for
So
that?
the last meeting we had, I put on there and questioned the members if you even wanted to keep a regional senior center with the changes that are happening over there with staffing. The Council on Aging boards had a meeting. Both boards, Barre and Hardwick, voted unanimously to keep it regional, so I fully support that. And
As-
I hope you
as-
fully
as we
support
do.
that too.
Yep.
I spoke with Justine today, the town administrator in Hardwick, who's with us tonight. And we already have a date on the books for February 26th, I believe it was, for us to start looking at the regional agreement, because it was written in 2017, it was never revisited 6 months later as it should have been, and it needs to be updated. So, I just want to make sure that you all want to support remaining in the regional senior center, and we can go forward.
Absolutely.
I will just comment, because the board had asked that I a meeting with the express purpose of letting you know that everyone without exception.
That's great,
on
it's
the
very
board-
helpful.
Without exception on the board wants to see this relationship continue. We know we're only in an advisory capacity, but speaking on behalf of the board, we'd love to see it.
Great,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Madam Chair?
Yep.
I'm just here, just kind of supporting my seniors. I think after the last select board meeting, some members in Hardwick got kind of nervous that it was going to disband, so I attended the Council on Aging meeting on Friday. Was very excited with the new chair, who ran an excellent meeting. But, we're happy, we want to stay with Barre. We hope we can continue this relationship. I definitely agree with Melanie that the agreement definitely needs to be looked at.
Right.
I don't know how much we can do with finances, because as you know, we have no money, just like Barre, we're all struggling here. But we definitely want to look at it, we definitely want to sit down and continue the relationship.
Okay, great to
Thank you.
hear. Betty Jo? You're sitting in the middle.
Moral support.
Okay, you're all set? Okay. Sounds great.
All right, excellent.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
All in
You
favor?
too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, Citizens Committee
Betty
for
Jo.
Right
Thanks,
of
Dave.
First Refusal Recommendations. We do have the need to authorize and solicit members to a 3-person group for the, to look at right of first refusal recommendations and how the town may participate. Yeah.
I sent you a letter
We did,
with
yeah.
my recommendations, as you have asked me to do.
So, any further questions? We have it for the list of the right of first refusal funding available, which is zero, but most of our committees are, citizen committees are not expecting to be, compensated for their time. Timeline for findings to be presented to the select board at their April 6th meeting, and expectations, various land trusts and entities will be contacted to discover how they could assist the town in making financial purchase of land in the event of a right of first refusal is triggered. There will be no contact with town attorneys during the process. Presentations will be made to the selectmen with findings on April 6th. The committee shall observe the guidelines for formation of advisory committees, and those are attached for their review. So I guess we're just letting it know, and we need to make sure, Sandy, that we, find a way to let people know that there is a committee that's been established, and we're seeking 3 individuals. And
So Maureen, what are you looking for in terms of that process? Because you really kind of piqued my interest and curiosity when I saw it in the Barre Gazette. And, so I was going like, okay, I'll go down to the meeting, kind of see what's going on with that. Like, do you have an idea of who you're looking for?
Basically, we're looking for people, one, who would like to learn a lot about right of first refusal, what it means, and so forth, and how the community, towns, town of Barre, could utilize right of first refusal to, for example, take a group that are coming in and want to take a large parcel of our property and do something that we're not happy about. And we could be, the right of first refusal is that the town would buy the property to keep it out of the hands of what we didn't want to have happen. Or, right of first refusal, we would work with trusts, land trusts, that would pay for the land, and they would manage the land under 61A, that would prohibit, like BES, or other things that would be something that we didn't want to have come into our community. Now, we've not done that as a community before, and so, it would be something we need to find out about. And the land trusts they're always interested in getting more land. There are some people who are anti-land trust in the community, how that goes. So I would just say the most important thing for us is to find out what aspects of right of first refusal it would be great for the town to consider, and how could we have land trusts help us work through that process? Because that's who's going to help us work through the process. The town of Barre doesn't have, let's say, the land that we would like to preserve or keep out of the hands of a particular development is worth $400,000. We do not probably, because we can barely pay for snow and ice, we don't have $400,000 to say, oh, we'll buy it, and we'll put it we'll take it off the tax rolls. Keeping it on the tax rolls with using a land trust thing at 61A is better than taking it off the tax rolls completely. So at any rate, there's a lot to learn about this, and we had a group of people who are adamant that they would like to have knowledge about right of first refusal, especially if this BEST project comes to fruition. It is really not on the front burner, but we should be prepared.
And what tips it is properties under 61A are agricultural or B woodland, which gets that large property owner a tax break on the property. But the town has a first right of refusal on change of use or sale. So that's when we would be notified of our right, the select board would be notified of our right to exercise the first right of refusal. And in 60 years, I can't recall any select board taking anybody's property first right of refusal and buying it, the town, that I can recall. But there may be instances in the future that the select board may want to exercise that right, so this committee would talk to state agencies or local private agencies to see what available funds are. Fish and Wildlife has money to buy property.
Yeah.
Mass Audubon has East Quabbin Land Trust, Mount Grace, those type of entities. So this committee would go out and get the information to see who has availability and who would be interested in potentially buying property in the town of Barre, should we have to exercise the right, or feel the need to exercise the right to take the property. So basically, you're doing homework for us and presenting back to us what our options are. Making phone calls.
Okay. So what kind of background are you looking for in terms of people that would be on the committee?
Well, obviously, somebody who's interested in learning, somebody who's interested in putting some significant time and effort. Because I would tell you, I think it's significant time and effort, sitting around the table and understanding, having the trust people, because they'll come in and they have a game plan, how they would maybe recommend you manage this in order to they would get it, because they get federal funding to help do this. And so it would take the financial burden off the town if we wanted to establish it and keep that land in 61A. If that's where the land is that people want to develop. So there's a lot to learn, and if it's 100 acres, if it's 200 acres, what it is, I don't even know, what is that acreage up there? 200?
Probably.
140?
140, 150, yeah, something like that, maybe, yeah.
And so whatever it is, we tax that property. I don't know what they're taxed at, but it's in 61A. It's agricultural.
In order to get that designation in a town, you have to have 6 acres or more, and the house lot doesn't count where the main house sits. In order to be eligible for 61A agricultural or 61B, and you have to produce $500 of goods or more per year. There's filing paperwork you do every September, October with the Board of Assessors. They have to certify that you're actually farming, you're producing income on the property. Those documents get signed and delivered to the assessors, and that's how you stay in the 61A program. And you get, it's a tax break. It's a small tax break. It's not a significant tax break, but it helps. So there's quite a few in the town of Barre that have more than 6 acres that are under 61A or B.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of acreage.
So if you want to sign up, let Melanie or Sandy know, and moving on.
Yeah, we'd like to get this appointed because we have a deadline of April 6th to try to get some information back.
This is a well-known strategy, though. This is not like if you talk with a bank or if you talk with the a land trust group. They know all about this, how you do it, why you do it, and where they've done it before.
So you basically, you want to have a procedure in place, and you want to know what the resources
Yes.
are. Who's, like the state or the land trust.
Right.
So you have everything ready to go, so if this comes up before you, you can
Right.
say,
We'll have a strategy.
yeah, strategy.
Right now, the strategy is something that some people know about, but many people don't understand how it could be utilized within a community like Barre. And some people are a little bit shy of getting a lot of trust land, because then that land is managed by the trust and not necessarily by the community. I mean, it's sort of like having, the watershed. Everybody says, oh, so great, but then they say, you can't walk on it, you can't drive on it, you can't do this on it, you can't do that on it.
You can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah. So, it's not the panacea, this for sure, but it's a strategy.
Well, the trust does have land that's farmed by people that rents.
Yes,
farmers,
yes,
so-
yeah,
Yes,
So
it
that's a
does.
possibility.
yes, oh, absolutely.
Yes, it does, yep.
But if you have a 200-acre slot or a 100-acre slot that's pretty much used to be managed or farmed, and now it's sort of not, but they want to do something else with the property, and we don't want them to, so, I mean, the land would just stay in 61A, but maybe they're not doing something different with it, but they're not farming it either. And they're not, well, they probably would manage the lumbering and that kind of stuff of it usually, but.
Yeah, it's
so
$500, which is pretty nominal.
Yeah.
In today's world, to produce $500 worth of goods is
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Pretty easy.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the people were who asked to have this committee formed. Do you
This was
remember?
Liz Martin was
Yeah,
certainly the person who was pushing this stone up the hill.
Has she reached out to you at all to be on the,
But she will, wouldn't you say? I'd be shocked if.
It was the Petrovics, it was
Yeah.
the folks that came that night to
Yeah.
talk about the potential best project that may get permitted in town or may not get permitted.
It's been pretty quiet about Best these
Well,
days.
there's no active application yet in town,
Yeah.
so it's, right now it's a subdivision plan.
Well, Floyd Kelly did point out that new development is actually a money loser for the town, residential development. Because every dollar they pay costs the town $1.10 in services.
Well, see, he and I disagree. I mean, having children and some new families in our community is not a loser. It's different kind of, way in which to make our community grow and be prosperous. I mean, because just to say, well, you know what, anybody who comes in here and has a child that they have to educate, keep them out, that's crazy talk.
No, but if you're talking about
There would-
cost, tax costs to the town,
There would have to be a study for that, because you don't know what people would spend when they come into the town. If we actually pass the meals tax, they could be buying meals in town, contributing. I mean, it's all well and good to take a blanket statement, but you'd actually have to have a study to make a statement like that, in my eyes. I see what's on paper,
yeah.
yeah.
But you just can't say that if it doesn't go towards single-family houses, it's a money loser. It's losing taxes for the town. It's not necessarily true, because
Well, the thing of it is, I just have to say this a whole lot more about how a town grows and prospers. And it's not just money. Just not.
right.
And I mean, I feel strongly when they say that about children. I think, I know, I'm the school superintendent, I get it, and I'll die being that. I just think that's just so inappropriate to say that we should make sure don't sell young people homes because they probably will reproduce. My God, it's crazy talk. So that would mean, what we could do is we say, okay, everything we build in this community from now on is 55 and over. And I would say, that's dumb. I mean, because we should have a variety of housing. It's really not on the agenda, so I'll shut up.
I was
There you
gonna
go.
say, we're getting off track.
Yes, we are.
There you go.
But anyway,
So,
So you guys need to vote, I
yes,
think.
we are going to vote to establish and authorize the town administrator to ensure that this Citizens Committee for Right of First Refusal recommendations is, I don't, how do we generally do this? We place it on my town government and website and, you know, to try to get
How long do
individual.
you want that committee? Is it indefinite until the project's done?
Yes,
Till
so,
April 6th.
yeah,
April 6th.
yeah.
would there be a report to do April 6th?
So Sandra, you would have the information on that if somebody was interested in terms of this particular group?
We can do this.
Yeah, I would
We-
post, when I post, I would put that up so
Put
people
the
can
letter in
see.
the,
Right,
yeah.
We have documents that you could have that,
yeah.
the outline.
It's gonna be a committee of 3 people,
Mhm.
so the work doesn't start until you appoint 3 people.
Right.
Our next meeting, we gotta be appointing people, because you don't have much time.
Yeah, well, we'll make some calls around of people who have indicated a real interest in this, and hopefully that they would be interested in serving. We didn't want to get too big a group, because then it just gets so unwieldy. And, you know, Floyd made a good point where he didn't feel that the planning board should be like managing this, because they should be implementing, you know, statutes, but not necessarily coming up with
Mhm.
this kind of stuff. So I thought that was a good suggestion, so.
I move that the board develop a citizens committee for the right of first refusal to review of 61A, 61AB parcels that may become before the board, and to explore any opportunities available to the town by state or private organizations that might be willing to take these properties or buy these properties on behalf of the town, something like that.
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to establish the Citizens Committee for Right of First Refusal, and to provide, that committee to provide recommendations to the board for further action. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Looks like a vote, and I hope to see your names coming
Yeah,
up.
next week, next meeting, hopefully we
Yep.
can get this going.
Okay, FY '26 budget review and discussion.
So, I'm so sorry. I printed out the latest expenditure report from the accountant. And I've gone through and I've highlighted some areas where we are over. And there's some transferring that can be done when we've already discussed the assistant town accountant position. Some of the expense lines that are high, I need to contact the department heads and just find out, you know, do you anticipate having to order more supplies or whatever? Like the assessor's expenses is at 81%. But for all I know, they've already paid for their major purchases, you know what I mean? So it's nothing to be alarmed about until we actually talk to them. So the legal line is a huge one. And I started, I didn't print it out, I started going through all of the legal bills, starting July 1. Just putting together, I was hoping to have it done for tonight, but it just didn't happen. But like we're spending a lot of money on public records request issues, open meeting law violation issues. So I'm gonna be interested to see from July 1 through December. Not so much in January, I don't think, but like what we have, how much of this $30,000 that we had originally budgeted for has gone,
Yeah.
just to those two items.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be, those two items seem to be the main thing. And I mean, there's nothing that we can really do about legal, we need legal. We have that Cold Work Bridge hearing coming up next week, on the 12th here at 6:30. And I have to access legal for parcel information for that. That's not something I can do, it has to go through legal. We need their legal opinions, so I'm trying to dial back anything. Luckily, we haven't had a lot of public records requests or open meeting law violation notices that we have to use legal for, so hopefully, you know, we're at least dialing back what we need them for. I was trying to think of what else was here. We have like the assistant town clerk position, the assistant treasurer position that, you know, is pretty high because of the payouts that we did. The town, the town building accounts are also pretty high. So I need to get together with Sandy and Chief Saborin to just make sure of where we're at and what we're expecting in the next few months for those. And I'm assuming, I apologize, I'm not overly prepared for this, but I'm assuming that some of those budgets were cut, if I remember correctly, from looking at FY25 to FY26. And unfortunately, I mean, the things that we, especially, you know, the building and the maintenance, I mean, those are things that we have to pay for. So those weren't really good places to cut the budget, because what are we gonna do, not pay for our electricity, not pay for oil to heat the building? So that we definitely need to look at in the next budget cycle. Let's see what else was in here. It looks like the police, while they have some lines that are high, other lines are not. So I think the one thing we need to implement here in Barre is the interdepartment transfers, so that you can transfer from one line within that voted line. So you vote the one line, but then the ones that are within that, you can transfer from within. So I'll talk with Chief Saborin about that, we'll look at that. Same thing with fire and EMS, I'll get together with Chief DiVirgilio and talk to him about that.
I think I'm just concerned about, obviously, the ambulance and so forth with issues that we've had with Hardwick and them making a different decision moving forward relative to.
Yeah, and I mean, and so far, right now, we are okay. I know, well, not the EMS overtime, we're pretty high on the EMS overtime, but I know I had spoken with you, Maureen, about talking to the chief about, because I believe Hardwick and Hubbardston both charge us when they come out.
Two, Paxton and Rutland do
So,
too.
yeah, so I'm gonna talk to the chief about how that whole process works and see if that's something that we can implement when we have to go there. Just to try to recoup some of that funds, some of those funds. The machinery account, you know, the town barn account, again, both accounts, you have to get what you have to get. You can't not purchase a machinery part that you need to operate. But I will touch base with Tim and Kelly on those as well. Let's see if there was anything else that like popped out on me. Health insurance, because I'm so sorry, health insurance is only at just over 43% right now, which is really, really good. I think going through and eliminating everybody and getting a recon sheet, I think going forward, we're gonna have a true estimate of what we're spending. However, Medicare, the Medicare line is already at 70%, but I don't think that Medicare was being budgeted appropriately, which we will fix for FY27. So I'll be interested to see where that ends up. And then, there was just one debt interest. I had already noticed when I was working on the FY27 budget that the vote for that debt interest amount was not correct. And that was only $185 more than what was voted. So we'll have to figure out where that's gonna come from. So, I mean, I know that it is very worrisome, but also not alarming yet. I'm gonna talk with the department heads who I've identified that we have issues with and just see what their thoughts are and what we can do. And in speaking of this, I also wanna let you know that I got an email from Jennifer Thompson at Capital Strategic Solutions today about the ARPA funds. I had voiced concern about not having actual contracts, only signed quotes. The auditing firm I worked with before said you have to have contracts, signed quotes don't suffice. She emailed the federal treasury, and they said that as long as those signed quotes were obligated before the end of '24, then we're okay.
Thank God.
But, however, I still have to go through everything because we did not have signed quotes for everything. So I have a call with Jennifer on Thursday. We're gonna go down the list. We're gonna look at stuff. I may need you guys to re-vote things because you can actually vote to make a change from costs incurred before December 31st of 2024. So I'm probably gonna pull some contracts as well, and look to see what we can do. And I know that there was, a vote in there for like health insurance. I think it was at like 41,000, but then it says up to 70,000. So I just need to research that and make sure that that was there because we can always
Use that.
Yeah, we can move that around as well. So
Well, that's-
all is
that's-
not lost,
Right. Good news.
unfortunately.
Good news. Good news.
We are in good questions, fortunately. We're in a better place than I thought we would be at this time, so we'll see how it is going forward.
Okay. Well, we're pretty much done. Anybody else have questions or concerns about FY26 as we continue to monitor that, moving?
Appreciate the update, though, yeah.
Okay, moving along then, I think we're ready to contemplate going into executive session for the purposes of Mass General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation.
Are we gonna keep this meeting open, come back out?
I would just adjourn out.
Yeah,
of
we will
executive
come out
session.
only for the purposes of adjourn.
You can adjourn out of executive session.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, good night, thank you.
guys.
Okay.
Good to see you, yeah.
We have a motion to go into executive session.
I move to go into executive session.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion made and seconded to go into executive session for the purposes noted.
Roll call.
Yes, roll call. Mr. Stevens?
Yeah, Stevens, aye.
Mr. Reginas?